Hey everyone, despite what my jacket says, I'm going out today on an Uber Eats delivery shift for a couple of hours. And what I wanted to do was to update the guide I did last year for 2026, looking at how to deliver on Uber Eats and going through the steps of setting up the app, delivering food, picking up the order and delivering it to the customer, and then how you get your money and all of the stuff like that. So I'm going to try to go through it step by step. So this is really for people who are looking to work for Uber Eats, or maybe have just got registered and are a little bit anxious about the process of delivering. I want to make that an easy process for you so you understand the different steps involved, and also go through a few tips on how to get the best out of the app, and also ideally make the most money when you're delivering. Okay, so all right, I'm going to log on to the Uber Eats app now, and talk through some of the things about it. Now, just to note, I use an Android phone. This is a Samsung phone, so when I talk about the app, it's really going to be the Android version. I'm not sure how these things work on iOS, on Apple devices, so please bear that in mind. But so it may be applicable to anyone who's got an Android device, but may not be exactly the same for iOS. All right, let's open the Uber Driver app, see what it looks like. At the moment, I'm offline. You can see that at the top. And there's a big button at the bottom which says Go Online. Just to note, sometimes, not always, when you go online, it will ask you to take a photo of yourself to verify yourself. This is to make sure you're the person who's got the account and everything like that. Or this might happen while you're delivering or between deliveries. You may have to occasionally take photos of yourself. Okay, you've got the sort of map there, and this map, if we click on it, shows you how busy it is in different parts of your city or town. You can sort of zoom in to see if it's red, it's busier. If it's sort of a yellow orange, then it's less busy, and if it's white, it's not so busy at all. So that's a good guide for determining like where in the city you should go to pick up orders. All right, let's just go back to the home screen. There's another thing at the top there. It says opportunities. If you click on the arrow next to that, this will tell you of any sort of promotions coming up. So sometimes they have special promotions where you can earn more money if you deliver 4 deliveries before 2 o'clock or something like that. And there's nothing here at the moment, but I will try to put up a screenshot of an example of this. Okay, but it is useful to check that to see what opportunities there are. At the bottom, you've got different things. You've got your earnings. That shows you how much you've earned. You've got nothing at the moment because I haven't been out for the last week because of the weather. And there's various other information you can see there. I'll go through that later. Inbox is just sort of any messages from Uber, about your documents or anything else. And the last one is the menu in the bottom right-hand corner. This is quite important. As you can see, different things here. You can refer friends. Opportunities, again, those are the promotions possibilities. There's a thing called Uber Eats Pro, which is if you do enough deliveries, you can earn points, and then that will unlock certain rewards. You may be we're familiar from these incentive programs from there. Your wallet, that gives you information about how much money you've got in there. And the last one is account. And this is a really important thing. Again, I won't go through all of the things. There's stuff about your documents and payment and tax info. The most important one is app settings at the bottom. And this is where you can change the settings for the app. So things like the sounds and voice, how loud the notifications are. A really important one is navigation, because when you navigating to the restaurant or to the customer, you can choose either to use the built-in Uber navigation, which is okay, or you can use an external app like Google Maps. You can see mine's ticked for Google Maps. Obviously, the benefit of Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever is you get all those extra features that they have. The downside is that it can't give you precise information about your customer. If you stay in the Uber app, then you get information about the exact house. If there are any, the doorbell doesn't work or things like that, that's all built into the app as well, and it gives a more precise location for the customer. Right, so it's up to you which one you want to use. If you use Google Maps, it will kind of open up in Google Maps when you accept an order, and want to navigate to either the restaurant or the customer. For now, I'm going to use the Uber one, but I will also do another delivery with Google as well. Okay, what I want to do now is get out on the road, start accepting orders, and you can see the process, hopefully, of delivering an order from getting the order, accepting it, to then picking it up and delivering it to the customer. Okay, just give us a moment while I get myself ready. All right, folks, I'm heading to a sort of a populated part of the city, somewhere it's normally quite busy. Certainly suggests that on the map. I haven't turned on my Uber Eats app yet. Just to clarify one last thing, when you're out and you're delivering, there are two types of orders you can get. There's one which is called a sort of a match or trip radar order. This is an order which is sent out to more than one person. It's not just sent out to you. It's sent out to multiple drivers, and you can kind of compete for it. So it will give you the option to match to that order. Then you have to wait to see whether you're the one that they've chosen to do it. I'm not sure exactly how they decide who's going to get the order, but sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. I think it depends on where you are, how close you are to the order, etc., etc. The other one is an exclusive order, and this is just for you. And it will say that at the top, it will say exclusive, so you know it's just for you, and you'll have about 60 seconds to accept that. And I try to go through that process of looking at the order and taking in all the information and deciding whether to accept or reject the order. All right, let me just pull up somewhere and go online. Okay, I'm going to go online now, and we'll see how quickly anything sort of pops up. I try to do this in real time so you get a sense of how quickly or not very quickly you get orders. Okay, so we're online now. You could hear it made that noise. It says we're online. So, like I said, I'm going to keep moving, and we'll wait and see what we get for the first order. I mean, I'm out here at lunchtime on a Monday. Lunchtimes are normally okay for picking up orders. It's a reasonably good time. It's about 12:30. Oh, here we go. Here's the first order. Just going to pull over rather than trying to look at this while I'm driving. Good, if you can, if possible, to pull over and have a look at this. Now, this one, you can see is an exclusive order. It's a delivery. This is one I'm going to reject because it's 11 miles, which is a very, very long order. 34 minutes, 11 miles, £10. So the little cross in the corner you can click, and that will reject it rather than confirm. Or you can just wait for the timer to run out, in which case it will automatically reject it as well. Okay, and it is okay to reject orders. Obviously, you probably don't want to do it too much, but, that was an example of an order which is not great. It's a really long order. Maybe if you're in a car, that would be feasible. And again, what vehicle you're in might affect whether you accept an order or not. But that was one I'm not going to spend, 11 miles getting to. And that, you can see also, it was 11 miles or £11 for 10 miles. That's almost a 1-to-1 ratio of pounds to miles. And, that's not a good order. You really are looking for something around 1.5, pounds to each mile, or even better, £2 to a mile. Obviously, long orders can take a long time as well. And, shorter orders are probably better in terms of doing them, finishing them, getting the money, getting on to the next one. So let's keep going round and we'll see what other orders come in as we're doing that. Oh, we've got another one here. It's the same order. This often happens. You get the same order. Even better, you can see it's even worse than the previous one. This one's a match order this time, so it's not exclusive to me. So it's open to other people. Let me just pull over and you can kind of see this. You can see this is a match order where you've got the match button. You can see it says 2 deliveries, so it wouldn't just be 1, it'd be 2, which makes it an even worse order, and it's paying even worse than the previous one. So that's the same order going to the same place. Now you can see it says now this request is no longer available. That means someone took that order. All right, let's keep going. Hopefully we'll actually get an order we can accept at some point. But again, don't take rubbish orders. So probably when you start, you might feel some pressure to, because you're a bit worried that it's going to give a negative impression, and I completely understand that. And, and I do understand at the beginning you probably will take a few more orders than later when you get used to it. But if it's really going a long way, if you're on a motorbike, for example, and it's actually to go 10, 11 miles, that's a long way to go on a motorbike. Might take you down motorways, dual carriageways, which may not be great depending on the top speed of your vehicle. Okay, you've got another one. It's the same order. Clearly they're struggling to get this order out. Okay, you can see again, same order. It's offering, well, it's about the same really. This time it's 12 miles for £11. So if you're less than 1 mile for £1, these are really not very good orders. And 2 deliveries means you've got 2 times waiting at a restaurant, which could increase the amount of time it takes. So yeah, definitely one to reject. All right, we've got an order here. I might take this one just so I can kind of show you how this works. This is an exclusive order to me. Now, you can have a look here. See, customer verification means it's probably contains alcohol. Got 2 deliveries, £7.80 for 5 miles. You can look on the map to see where everything is. We don't have that much time, but I'm going to take this just in case. Okay, so I'm going to confirm that and take that, and then we can see where to go. Navigating, click the navigate button, and then it will tell us where we need to go. And we can follow this to the shop. All right, we're going to Pizza Express, pick up the first order, and I'll show you the process for accepting an order and picking one up from a restaurant. Let's park in here, find this car. One thing to note is when you go in, you then have to confirm the pickup. Okay, you click that button. It will normally ask you to verify the order, but I'll show you that in a sec. Okay. So what we need to do now is go and tell the restaurant what order it is and pick it up. All right, mate, I got an order for... Okay, and you can tell them either by the name or by the number. Certainly for Uber Eats, it will give you both. Is that everything? Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, so now I've picked up this order. Now, when you've done that, you've got to click Confirm Pickup. Sometimes it'll ask you to verify the order, but in this case it doesn't. Verify just means you have to kind of check that what's on the receipt is on your list as well. You don't really need to do it, but it sometimes forces you to do it. And it says complete pickup, and you slide across. Now this is going to take us to the second order. So I'm just going to pop this in here, put that underneath. Actually, well, it is good to try to keep kind of orders separate. So you can see here, I've put the pizza order underneath and that on the side, and then the other one will go in there. People have different allergies, so it is useful if you can do that. All right, now it's directed us to the next store, which is just around the corner. So we'll go around and pick this up. All right, just going to pop the bike here. Oh, that's okay, my dear. All right, mate, have you got... Okay, is that finished or? Perfect. There's a drink in there, yeah? Oh, okay, perfect. You put those things on top, yeah? You put those. Yeah. That's great, yeah. I wish McDonald's would do that. They are terrible, I tell you. Cheers. Yeah, it is good to check what's in the order so you can see if there's a drink particularly. This one has, but they seem to have sealed it pretty well in these cans, which is excellent. Now you can see here also it asks you to verify the order. So I click on this button, it says verify, it gives me the list of what's in it. Obviously, yeah, I can check against the list, but obviously I don't know if they've actually put that in there. But normally you just click order verified and then complete pickup. And then it says continue to the next stop. Okay, let me just put this in the back and then I'll click on that. Continue to next stop. All right, and you'll see it sometimes gives you information about the customer. This one asks for a PIN code. So when I go there, I'm going to need to enter a PIN. So I need to get a PIN from the customer to enter in. You don't always get that, but sometimes you do. Okay. Right, let's go back and have a look. Let's start navigating. Okay. All right, let's get off to this one. It kind of gives you an overview, how far. So this one's telling me it's 2.4 miles to the customer. Just be aware, when you get the orders in, it will give you sort of a distance on this. It will say £11 for 10 miles. Now, the 10 miles is the sort of, well, it's estimated really, total distance from where you are now to the restaurant and then from the restaurant to the customer. So it's the total distance that it calculates. Obviously, the one thing to be careful of when you're delivering 2 orders is to make sure you give the right order to the right person. You know, the number in the name is both on the app and normally on the food as well. They normally staple it to the outside. The only exception to that is our supermarkets who don't do that. They just generally just write something on the outside, like a number or something. All right, let's go and drop this first one off. The other thing that might happen is that when you're on one order, like here I'm delivering a couple of orders, you may get another order, which is going to be the one after you've completed these 2. Hopefully we'll sort of get examples of this throughout the shift today, because again, you may get different types of orders. Sometimes what you'll get is what we call an add-on order. So that's sort of adding on an order to the current order. So it means, you know, if you've already picked up from one restaurant, you now need to go and pick up from the second restaurant and collect. Or you might just get an order for later, which means you sort of complete your order and then go on to that second one. But that's normally made fairly clear within the app what kind of order it is. So yeah, if you are doing this for the first time or you're planning to do it for the first time, don't panic. The first time you do it, it will be a bit rough and ready. Certainly the first time that I delivered using Uber Eats, it was my first deliveries ever. And that was the only service I had access to. And the first couple of orders, I made a right old mess of them, I tell you. I thought I'd accidentally, completed the order when I hadn't. Dropped the food, I got lost and sweating and all kinds of stuff. But a good guide like this can help you, and just take your time, relax, don't rush. In the end, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you don't have to be there, within seconds of picking up an order. People can wait. Take your time. When you feel ready to do it, then do it. And when you're clear about what you're doing, do it. Yeah, I'll try to sort of add some sort of tips and suggestions for better deliveries as we go through today. But if anyone who is a delivery driver also has any or can suggest better ways of doing it than I've suggested, then I'd be very, very happy for you to add those to the comments. Like I said, I've only been doing this a few years. So there are some people out there who've got a lot more experience than me. So like I said, this customer who I'm getting close to is going to require a PIN code. You can see down the bottom there, there's a little kind of icon, shows like a blue circle with a keypad on, which is telling me this is requiring a PIN code. Now sometimes when you get there, the customer may not have put exactly their address in. Sometimes they just put in postcodes or the road. If that's the case, you can contact them by chat or by phone. There's an option within the app to do that. I can show you that in a minute. But you can see this one has popped up. Obviously I can't show you the exact address, but the address is there now. And then I start looking for that. It's kind of showing me roughly on the map where it is. Always good to establish which side of the road it's going to be on. So I always kind of look for the even and odd numbers so I know, okay, I know it's going to be on the left. It doesn't always indicate correctly whether it's left or right. But this has given me the exact number. So I'll go and stop there, drop that off. I need to make sure as well that I give her the right order out of the two. Make sure it's either the pizza or the bagels. Can't remember now which one it actually is. All right, we're here at the customer's door. Obviously, I'll have to blur some of this information out. But the first thing to check is what order this person is getting. You can see there's an option there to chat or phone them. So this is the Pizza Express order. You can see it says Pizza Express. So I'll grab that. Hello, here you go. I think I need a... 6805. Wait, second, 6805. Done. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. All right, I entered that PIN number. First one's now done. It now directs me to the second one. Now, the nice thing about the Uber Eats app is that it doesn't matter what app you're currently using at the time, as long as it's online and it's running, accepting orders, it will sort of pop up in quite large form so that you can see if you've got an order. So if you're messing around on Google Maps or your email or YouTube or whatever, and it's running in the background, a big sort of block appears on the screen and it kind of runs over anything and you can see very clearly what the order is. So the other thing to think about is how you're going to transport the orders. You can certainly get the backpack and when you sign up for Uber Eats and Deliveroo and people like that, you can normally buy one of their backpacks or you can get them for free. I think Deliveroo gives them for free. I don't think Uber Eats does, but you can also just buy any sort of thermal backpack from Amazon or any other shop. Do try to get a thermal one as opposed to just some random sort of shopping bag because you do want to keep the food warm. For a long time I did it with a backpack, a Deliveroo backpack, which is okay. It can hurt your back a bit, certainly at my age. So I eventually got one of these sort of top boxes, which makes things a bit easier. And I've put the backpack inside there to keep the food warm. And I found that works pretty well for me. But if you're on a bicycle, then that might be a bit more difficult. Although I do see bicycles with these sort of top boxes on the back. I'm sure there are ways to attach them. Yeah, the other thing you're probably going to have to think a little bit about is managing things like drinks. Again, not such a big problem in a car. Cars are pretty stable, pretty level. But on a motorbike or a bicycle, you're going to be going up and down. Your body's going to be shifting around, or the bike's going to be shifting around. And there's a good chance that those drinks might spill. So working out ways to manage to avoid that as possible. Some of these backpacks have nice kind of dividers in them which let you sort of divide up things into different compartments, and so you can sometimes put the drinks in a separate compartment. That may not stop them spilling, it may just stop them spilling on other food. But, you know, at least it's a start, I suppose. I bought myself a second little mini thermal bag to put my drinks in. And that seems to kind of stand them up pretty well. But yeah, it's a bit annoying when you turn up someone's house and you sort of open up your bag and then suddenly it's all wet and dripping, and, you know, it doesn't give a good impression. Ooh. Hello. Give us 1 second. There you go, my dear. Thank you. Bye-bye. And you can see, because this one didn't have a pin attached to it, I don't have to get any information from her. I just click confirm delivery, and then at the bottom it says complete. Slide that across and we're done. You can see at the top now, tells you how much you've earned. That $3.90 I think was from the first order. This should update now with the second one. Only takes a few seconds. You can panic a little bit when you don't see it update. So yeah, there you go. So now that's updated. You can click on this black area, and you can sort of tell, it gives you a bit more of a summary. 2 trips completed, 4 points. See weekly summary. You can flip between how many Uber Eats Pro points you've got, and sort of last trip, today, etc. All right. So now it's a question of waiting for the next order to come in. Again, I could stand here. It'd be a bit weird standing outside a customer's house, so I'll probably just move around and set a destination. What I do now is I'm going to go into Google Maps and just sort of set a destination for somewhere else. Just for a KFC back in the city centre. There's like a car park I'm going to go to. Okay. So like I said, by using another app here, we might then see an example of the Uber app sort of popping up over the top of another app and how that works. So you can see we've been out, I don't know, 40 minutes or so, only made £8, which is not a huge amount. Just to be aware that normally when I go out, I have both Deliveroo and Uber Eats running at the same time, and I can pick up orders from both. Today I'm just doing Uber Eats, so I can show you how the app works. Might be a bit confusing if I try to do both. So I might be earning a bit less than normal just because I've restricted myself to the one app today. Doing this all for you. What a sacrifice, eh? What a noble gentleman. Obviously, after a while, you get to know the places around the city where you're more likely to pick up orders. You also learn what restaurants are quicker and slower. You know, there are some restaurants which, you know, if I see it pop up, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going there because I know it's going to take at least 10, 15 minutes for them to get the food ready. Or they'll be so busy that you have to sort of, you know, wait behind a queue of other people. So, you know, it does take a bit of time just to familiarize yourself with how things work in your city or town. You know, as I'm on a motorbike, I tend to avoid the sort of city centre of Sheffield where I work, simply because there are so many cyclists delivering there. So that kind of market's really sewn up. And because cyclists have quite a limited range, they don't tend to come outside the city. So for car drivers and motorcyclists, it's good to try to locate a place a bit further out. You know, maybe a busy suburban area, or, you know, like a leisure complex or shopping centre outside the city centre where there's plenty of restaurants and supermarkets to pick up things from. And as you can see on the screen, and again, I'm not sure how this works on other phones, but you can see there is a little Uber circle. So this shows me that whenever I'm using another app like Google Maps or email or something, I can quickly access Uber by pressing that circle on the screen. It also shows me that Uber is sort of running in the background as well. Also, at some point, I show you how to sort of cancel an order if you accept one, which, you know, sometimes happens. Sometimes you take an order a little bit rashly and then decide that it's not a very good one, or you get a decent order from another app, say like Deliveroo, and then you want to do that one instead. In which case it is possible to cancel the order. And I'll try and show that at some point. I'll perhaps accept a rubbish order and then cancel it so you can see how to do that. And again, it's okay to do that. It will just be offered to another driver. Obviously, there's a lot of anxiety, paranoia around whether rejecting lots of orders
puts you on the naughty list for Uber Eats and you won't get so many orders in the future. I don't know. I mean, I reject a lot of orders and it doesn't seem to matter that much to how many I get. I think in the end they just want someone to deliver it, and you know, there are always plenty of orders to go around, I find, especially on busy days and busy nights like Fridays. What I might actually do is, there's a McDonald's not far from here. I might just pop in there and sort of sit in the car park there. So see if I can pick anything up. All right, let's pop down here. We've got a few big shops here. Got Sainsbury's, Subway, Costa, McDonald's. This might be a good place to plop myself for 5 minutes to see if anything comes in. And I'll let you know when it does. All right, we've got another order here. Now, this is a very, very good one. Okay. This is £4 for 1.5 miles. It's from Sainsbury's. Let's just check. The only thing it says must verify ID, which means it's probably going to contain alcohol. Okay, I'm going to confirm this. Okay, you can see that popped up over the top of Google Maps. Okay. All right, let's just go into Uber. You can see Sainsbury's is just around the corner. One thing to check here is how big is the thing now? This might be a problem for me on a motorbike. You can see it's got 32 items. Now let's have a look at what they are. Oof. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go and check this and see just how big it is. I might be able to fit it in, but we'll have a look. But 32 items is quite big, so it's really good. So you can see it tells you more items than usual. It tells you how many items there are. And you can click on that arrow there, and it will tell you what the items are. So again, 32 might be small items, or it might be, you know, bottles of Coke and God knows what else, which will really fill out your bag. So let's go and have a look and see how big it is. See if I can do it. But for £4 for 1.5 miles, it's not bad. So I might just be able to do that. Yeah, I think you can sort of opt in to delivering age-restricted items, alcohol, cigarettes, etc., vapes. And obviously it's up to you. You will get more orders because of it, obviously, because people do order that stuff quite a lot. But just be aware that when you go to deliver it, you do need to check ID, and people can be a bit arsy about that at times, particularly if drivers haven't done it in the past and just sort of taken their date of birth. So we'll see. Sometimes for these larger orders, they will split the order between you and another driver. Not always, though. What I might do is grab one of these so I can take it with me. Because I reckon there's probably at least 3 bags here. Alright, buddy, how's it going? Nothing, eh? Alright. The other thing about supermarkets, you sometimes do have to wait for them to kind of collect the order. They have to go around and pick all the bits up, and if they're a bit understaffed, it can take forever. Now, there's already 2 people ahead of me. Now, I think this is going to take quite a while, even though it's a good order. It's £4, 1.5 miles. I think this is going to take a while to come in, and I'm not sure it's actually worth the wait. This could be like 15-20 minutes before I see anything. Okay, this might be a good example then where I cancel the order. I can ask the other guy how long he's been waiting and see. I'm a 738E. It's a long one. It's like 32 items or something. No, Uber Eats.
I can get on that one in a second.
Is it going to be a while, do you think, that one? It's quite a big. I might cancel it and then let someone else take it. Yeah, okay. I might cancel that one then, and then someone else will pick that up then. Okay. All right, cheers, mate. All right, so if you want to cancel the order, it's a little bit confusing. When I first had to do it, it was difficult to find it. You have to click on the order, the list of the items, go to the bottom. You can see there's two things there, not ready and report a problem. Not ready is just letting Uber know that it's not ready. If you go to report a problem, there's some reasons why you may want to cancel, like excessive waiting time, can't find restaurant, can't find parking, restaurant closed, other. So I'm going to say excessive waiting time. You don't have to put this, you can just put issue not listed. Let's put excessive waiting time, and it asks me if I want to cancel. And I say yes, cancel. And we're done, we're back online for collecting orders. Okay, so that was a good example of how to cancel an order. Let's now go and wait to see what else we can pick up today. All right, I'm going to head back to that McDonald's. It's a nice place to kind of stay for a bit and see what I can pick up. Oh, here we go. We got an order, £6, 4.7 miles. Yeah, that seems like a reasonable one. So it's a McDonald's, so it's just right where I am now. You can click this little map button and get an overview of it. Let's just close Google Maps. You can see there, but I'm going to confirm that. It's going to take about half an hour, but hey, what the hell, not getting much else today. Let's go and pick this up from McDonald's. This is where you get the fun of the McDonald's order. I'm trying to manage the drinks as well. So I'll show you what I do to manage the drinks for McDonald's. You can first check whether there is a drink in the order. Let's have a quick look. It says one item, let's just click on it. Yeah, there's a milkshake in there. Milkshake's not so bad. It's quite thick, less likely to spill. So what I've got is I've got my thing, but I've also got this smaller thermal bag which I can put the drinks in, and I'll show you put them in a sec. See how busy they are at McDonald's. Not too bad. No, you're not supposed to do this, but they've got those my orders right there. I can just grab it. I'll just grab it since no one's paying any attention. Ah, whatever. You can see that's my order. Now you have to feel them, work out which one's got the drink in. You can feel the little tray there. So what I'm going to do, stick the drink inside here. Makes it a bit more robust. Okay, I sometimes zip it, don't always, but then I sort of wedge it up there, put the hot food next to it, and that kind of keeps it nice and stable. Right, let's take that out. And again, I just got to verify the order. I mean, again, there's nothing really I can verify. Complete pickup. All right. So yeah, you want to keep this nice and flat in the backpack or the top box, depending on what you're using. If you're in a car, you want to keep it flat on the seat. Okay. There we go. Got to be careful about speed bumps when you've got drinks in the back. If you do this job, be prepared to spend a fair amount of time at McDonald's. You do get a lot of orders from them. Some people refuse to take them. Yeah, I'll take them 1 in 3, I'll say. It would depend. Depends how desperate you are. And depends how good the order is. Sometimes it's a good order and it's worth taking. But you will find, particularly at certain times of the week, like Friday evening, Saturday evening, that kind of thing, it's super busy in there. You may have to wait a long time for orders. Got to deal with the fact that there are drinks as well. They don't always pack the drinks very well or put the lids on correctly, and you can end up with all kinds of mess in your backpack. But yeah, we've got a nice long ride now. Good chance perhaps to just go over just some general tips I think might help you when you start delivering. Yeah, I think the first tip is don't be afraid to reject orders, as you saw I did a few times at the beginning of the shift. If it's a ridiculous order, if it's paying, £1 for 1 mile, or it's going an extremely long way, those are all good reasons to reject it. Similarly, do look at how many orders you're getting. Again, it should tell you whether it's 1 order or 2 orders or 3 orders. And, that's going to affect ultimately how long the order is going to take. Waiting at 1 restaurant is one thing, waiting at 2 restaurants is another, waiting at 3 is something completely different. So, I generally don't take orders that have 3 deliveries in them, just because the wait times could make the order not particularly profitable, however good it looks like on the surface, just in terms of the miles and the amount you're getting. You may face delays at all of those restaurants, and suddenly it says it's going to take 20 minutes and suddenly it's taking 40 minutes. So, do look at how many orders you're getting. Obviously, over time, you'll get used to where those orders are coming from, what restaurants, and you'll know whether that's going to be a long wait or a short wait. But there'll be a bit of sort of trial and error in working all that out as you start. The other thing is sort out when you're going to go out during the day. I mean, you can go out the whole day if you want and just sort of drive around and deliver for the whole day. And, you will get orders in, but in terms of saving your energy and maximising your profits, it might be good just to focus on, certain periods of the day where it's busier. If I'm going out for the sort of the day, I'll tend to break it down into smaller shifts of sort of 2 to 3 hours. So if I get up earlier in the morning, I might go out from sort of 7 to 9, where you get the sort of the breakfast shift and people ordering McDonald's breakfast and some supermarket items they might need for the day. It can be reasonably busy at that time. It's reasonably quiet during the mornings. So then lunchtime is the next good time to go out. Sort of 12 to 2-ish often has a fairly decent number of orders as well. And obviously the busiest time is going to be the evening. Anything past 5 o'clock. And you'll get all the evening orders as well. So also decide where you're going to go in the city or the town that you're in. You might want to focus on a particular area where it's busy, there's a lot of shops. If you're on a bike, you're probably going to want to go to the town or city centre. Try to pick up all the short orders there. Students, if it's a university city, the £2-3 orders going a mile or so. If you're in a car on a motorbike, you might want to park yourself a bit further outside, perhaps find, like I said, suburbs, leisure complex, shopping centres, those kinds of things where the bicycles can't go. I mean, remember you can get tips as well, so do be nice to people when you deliver to them. Scowl, be nice, greet them, say hi, chit chat if they're up for it. If you can get onto more than one service, like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat, etc., then do. There's even some Chinese ones like Hungry Panda and Fan Tuan, which are becoming increasingly popular, which you can do orders for. There's quite limited the restaurants you can order and deliver from. But again, it's worth signing up for as many as you can. Just be careful. There is a distinction between what they call multi-apping, which a lot of drivers do, which is when they do sort of deliveries for different apps at the same time, which means that they, may go off in a completely different direction from where they should be going to deliver a delivery order when they're actually on an Uber Eats order. I don't do that. Some people do. I'm not going to pass any judgment, although I think you can get into trouble with the companies if they think that you're not following the sort of optimum route to the customer. So, that's a personal choice people make. I don't think technically it's illegal, but, it may affect your ability to deliver for one of them if they think you're not following the routes as designated, I think. But what I do is I tend to, I'm only on Deliveroo and Uber Eats, but I'll open up both and have both running accepting orders from both. And, you know, as soon as I get an order that I've accepted from one, then I'll turn the other one off. Although sometimes I just keep the other one open just for a little bit while I'm just starting the other order, just in case a better one comes through. Then you can cancel the other one and do that. But once you've kind of picked up the order, then that's it. You can't really cancel it at that stage. Like I said, planning ahead how you're going to manage drinks is going to be a big thing, as you are likely to be ordering from places like McDonald's and cafes which put coffees in and things like that. So work out how you're going to sort of separate them in the bag, how you're going to keep them flat, how you're going to keep them level. Good to have things like wet wipes, some sort of tea towel or something to mop up any spills that you do get in your bag as you're going around. I've got like a little bag underneath my seat which has a variety of little, you know, wet wipes, paper towels in to clean things up. Most of the backpacks have like a side pocket where you can stick things like that in. A power bank is also useful for your phone as well, because these apps can kill your battery pretty quickly. I've also got waterproof trousers in case it starts to throw it down. Okay, a couple of things that might go wrong on an order or might cause some issues on an order, just to address what you do in those situations. If there's a problem with the order, like, I don't know, you spill it or you lose it or someone steals it or you have an accident or something like that, you know, you can contact support, rider support, through the app. Let me just kind of show you where that is. I'll just pull over for a sec and show you when I probably shouldn't do this, but there we go. You can see, like, if I go to this order and you see help and support, trip support down there, you can click on that. You can contact support through chat. And there's various things there that you might have to deal with. Okay, so you can contact them sort of during the order if there's anything that you need to report. They can take their time sometimes, depending how busy it is during the day. What might happen sometimes is that you get there and the customer just won't open the door. Either they're not there, or they're asleep, or they're in the shower, or something like that. Again, there is a process, you know, and in the app it kind of takes you through that of you first try and contact them through chat or through phoning them. And once you do that, it starts a sort of a 7-minute timer. And then basically you've got to wait 7 minutes. You can keep sort of trying to phone them and knock on the door or whatever. But after those 7 minutes, you can then just leave the food somewhere, you know, on their doorstep or whatever, and they'll be notified and you can complete the order at that point. The only provision with that one is if there's any kind of alcohol or age-restricted items, in which case you may be asked to kind of dispose of the items in that situation. If you're not sure, you can just contact support and talk to them and they should be able to help you out. I mean, not always, but you know, in theory they can. Again, here you can see there are some instructions there from the customer saying use the back door. So again, it's useful to just look at those before you go blundering in and ringing doorbells and stuff, because they might have young kids or front door may not work. There's the back door. It must be this one then. Sorry, wasn't sure where the back door was. That's okay, there you go, thank you. Bye. All right, there you go, 6:45. So yeah, it's now 14:25 for hour and a half, which is not fantastic, but like I said, only delivering on Uber Eats at the moment. What I'm going to do is just go offline for a moment. You can click there to go offline. Tell me if you're on. You can cash out your money there. You can see you can open the earnings activity and cash out the balance. It will show you all the money that you've earned that day. Okay, all the deliveries you've done recently. You can click on them to get more details about each of them if you wish. Okay, but you can cash it out. Normally you get paid once a week. It's on a Monday or Tuesday, and it goes straight into your bank account. If you want to cash out what you've got in your account earlier, I think it's like a 50p fee, and you can just cash that out from there. Okay, I've just changed the navigation now so that it opens in Google, so we can see how that works rather than opening in the Uber app. All right, I've got a Costa coffee order here. I'm not far from here now, so I might actually pop down and do this. All right, let's confirm this one. You can see it's popping up over the thing. Now, let's go and do it. It's like £3 for about 1.5 miles, so it's not far to go. You can see now I was navigating on a different route, exit navigation, yes, and now it's navigating me to this new location. Now these are 2 deliveries. I didn't really check what the 2 deliveries are. One of them's from Costa. Now they could both potentially be from Costa, but one might be from Costa and one might be from somewhere else. I'll go and check in a minute. You see the Costa's down there on the corner. I'm wondering whether to just park up here and get it, or whether to try and park in front. I think I'm going to park up here. Let's have a quick look at this order and see whether it's worth doing. Where are the orders coming from? Okay. So I can see, if you click those 3 little dots with the lines here, I can see what the orders are. So it's Costa Coffee and Subway, so right near each other. So that's worth doing, I think. Okay, it's all very close. Can I take this, mate? Yeah. Cheers, buddy. Okay, let's verify. Complete pickup. Continue to next stop. Alright, let's pop across now to Subway and pick up our next order. Cheers, buddy. Hi, mate. It's for 3113E. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Okay, let's verify that one. Order verified. Complete pickup. Continue to next stop. All right. You can see it kind of boots me out into Google Maps now. Like I said, the one big problem with using Google Maps, although Google Maps is great, is that it doesn't give you the precise location of the customer and any specific information about, you know, use the back door or whatever. So when you get to the customer, you're probably going to have to go into the Uber app anyhow. So it does make a good case for just using the Uber app. Just it's not as fully featured as Google Maps, obviously. All right, let's go and drop this first one off. It's just around the corner, 0.2 miles. Like I said, it's paying about £4, I think, for only about 1.5 miles in total, or £3 something. So a good one to do. These short ones are definitely worth doing. 10. Again, let's check which of the orders this is. This is the Subway one. Okay, this one's got different flats. All right, buddy, how are you? There you go, buds. Cheers, have a good one. Bye. There you go, complete that one. Next one is just down a little bit. All right, let's go down to this next one. Again, not far from here, just around the corner. Shouldn't take us long to get to. This is at one of the university buildings. Often if you deliver to sort of workplaces like universities or just companies, you are often asked for pins. I'm not sure this one is, but we'll see. All right. All right, this might be one of those situations where I need to contact them to tell them that I'm here. You can either phone them or go by chat. Let's have a look. Unless they come out. Oh, I can go in. Give her a phone, maybe.
The call is being recorded.
Hello?
Hiya.
Hi, I'm here with...
I'm outside. I can't see you.
Okay, I came indoors. I'm inside the Enfield building. Let me just see.
Sorry, say that again.
Inside the Anfield building.
Are you inside?
Well,
Okay.
that's where they... Oh, no, now I've come outside. But which side? I'm out the front where the cars are parked. Which entrance are you at?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. In a different entrance. I'll come to you.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Cheers.
Oh, is this you? Yeah. Where are you then? In...
It's just if you go like one side road.
Oh, is it that?
Little side road.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I didn't realise that. No problem. Well, there you go. Cheers. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. You'll notice now every so often it does this where it asks you to take a photo to confirm your identity. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to sort of call it a day and go offline there. Come on. Okay. And you can see I've made, staggering £17.67 today. But you did see, once I'd made that phone call, the timer did kick in. There was a 7-minute timer. But obviously she did come and pick that up.
All right, I'm back home now, back in my garage. Like I said, wasn't the best paid shift in the world. Only made about £18 over a couple of hours. Normally I'd make more because I'd be delivering for both Uber Eats and Deliveroo and maybe some of the other Chinese ones like Fan Tuan and Hungry Panda. But I hope that gave you a flavour for what the process of accepting orders, picking up orders and then delivering orders to the customer is like, and dealing with some of the issues that crop up along the way. You know, you're going to hear a lot of people saying it's not worth doing this job, that it's lowly paid, that, treated poorly. And, there are elements of truth to this. But at the same time, as a sort of a side hustle especially, I think it's a really, useful job to do. It's one of the few jobs you can do at any time. Kind of gets you out of the house, gets you seeing a bit of the world, seeing how different people live. There's a lot of benefits to doing it. While I accept that it's probably not the best paid job in the world, but if you are going to do it, I hope that this video is useful. If you have any questions, do add them into the comments. I'll be happy to try and answer them. If you're a delivery driver, share your suggestions for better ways of delivering as well, and how you find using the Uber Eats app or delivering for Uber Eats. Okay, thank you so much. Hope you found that useful. Speak to you soon. See you in the next vid. Bye bye.